Hey everybody, hope you're doing good today. It is March 7th and you are in the Morning Devo with Bo. Bo-Willette's my name. You can always check out the archives at my YouTube channel, Bo-Willette. Right up there, just go to YouTube, go into the search bar, type in Bo-Willette, and you'll get it. I go through the Bible just book by book, verse by verse. I am a Generation X guy who wasn't raised in the church, very progressive, very secular, that kind of background. Very kind of typical, you would think, Southern California background today, but anyway, I ended up reading through the Bible, and boy, lo and behold, just from Genesis on, that's kind of how I was, if you will, converted. And that's how I came to know Jesus as my Savior, my Messiah. Everybody's got a Messiah. Man, it's just the question of which one do you have? So anyway, I love going through the Bible. I'm in the book of Proverbs, chapter 24 right now. So let's get into it. Hope you're doing well. Again, I'm about, 2 hours late. What is it, 9, 10, 11? Yeah, 2 hours later than I normally am. It's been kind of a weird week with our Calvary Chapel Southwest Pastors and Leaders Conference, which was awesome. Big shout out to everybody over at Calvary Tucson for all their wonderful just service. It was a great conference. Really enjoyed it. Had a good time. Enjoyed everybody there. Super fun. And edifying too. A lot of good stuff to think about too on the topic of servanthood and the Bible. So yeah, good stuff. And anyway, so hopefully the week will kind of mellow out a titch, but not really. I got a late night tonight and good ministry opportunity. So it just keeps rolling. You know how that goes. So Paula, thanks for joining me today. Casey, good having you. It's almost like a lunch devotion. That's kind of how I feel it. I mean, I haven't had lunch yet, but it kind of feels like I'm kind of going in that direction. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Proverbs 24. That's where we're at. Okay, so it says, don't envy people or desire their company, for their hearts plot evil, plot violence, right? So don't envy evil people. That's the idea. And it says, and their words always stir up trouble. Okay, so talking about those again who kind of don't know, they're not looking to Yahweh, right? And it's, remember, from a parent to a kid, right? It's like, hey, there's those that don't know Yahweh that are violent. And man, they're envious, and they're going to try to use you and exploit you, and be really wary of them. That's the idea here. It says, a house is built by wisdom and becomes strong through good sense. And it's a good word to me. Do I have good sense? Do I have good wisdom? Do I have the qualities that are a part of wisdom? A good ear. Do I listen well? Or am I just blabbing? Am I a person who is able to ask good questions, at the right time? Or do I just listen and don't say nothing? So I want to build my house by wisdom. I want to have good sense. Do I have good sense to know when it's time? Do I have that kind of good sense? Like, there's sometimes you just know, right? You just have that good sense where you go, yep, I gotta make a decision now. It says, through knowledge, its rooms are filled with all sorts of precious riches and valuables. So the idea of getting wisdom and knowledge being precious. The wise are mightier than the strong, and those with knowledge grow stronger and stronger. So don't go to war without wise guidance. Victory depends on having many advisors. So a part of wisdom is having many advisors with it. So that's a component, if you will, to wisdom. And so I look at my life and go, hey, do I have good advisors in my life? People that I can bounce things off of. Man, that's something that I really thank the Lord for. Wisdom is too lofty for fools. Among leaders at the city gate have nothing to say. So wisdom is too lofty for fools. And I love how it says, among leaders at the city gate, they have nothing to say. Whew, it seems like it's kind of a little bit of a shot on the politician, right? Just nothing to say, you guys at the city gate, where the politicians are, just not much going on there. Not a lot of wisdom. I don't know if you got your ballots in the mail, the early voting ballot, but I did the other day. And, you look at everybody on the ballot and you just wonder, what they're really like. A lot of us just don't know these people. And so you kind of wonder, are they going to really have wisdom? It says, a person who plans evil will get a reputation as a troublemaker. The schemes of a fool are sinful. Everyone detests a mocker. If you fail under pressure, your strength is too small. Rescue those who are unjustly sentenced to die. So let's kind of break that apart. A person who plans evil will get a reputation as a troublemaker. True. It's like, when you're growing up in high school or junior high, right? There's that kid who's always scheming, man, and he gets known as that. It says, the schemes of a fool are sinful. Everyone detests a mocker, someone who's just constantly railing on you, constantly mocking you. If you fail under pressure, your strength is too small. Learning how to, I think the word might be persevere, right? Trying to persevere. That kind of pressure that comes in your life. We all feel it. We all have it. We all have to deal with it. And sometimes we all have to deal with it in better ways. What is a good way to deal with all that pressure? Take a walk, go to the gym, take a bike ride, talk to the Lord, have a good time of just quieting your heart. But when we go to the bottle, we go to drugs, we go to different things, man, it can really cause a havoc to deal with pressure. And boy, those are things that, eating can be a bad thing, right? You just go to the food when there's a lot of pressure. So we have to learn how to grow in strength in our faith. That's a good word. Rescue those who are unjustly sentenced to die. Amen. Save them as they stagger to their death. Unjustly sentenced. That's always bothers me to think people are in jail and they didn't even do it. Don't excuse yourself by saying, look, we didn't know. For God understands all hearts and he sees you. He who guards your soul knows you knew. He will repay all people for their actions they deserve. Wow. Sometimes we just not going to be able to win an argument. Sometimes I'm not going to be able to get my point across. But God knows, and sometimes I just have to leave it there. My child, eat honey, for it is good, and the honeycomb is sweet to the taste. In the same way, wisdom is sweet to the soul. If you find it, you will have bright future, and your hopes will not be cut short. Don't wait in ambush at the home of the godly, and don't raid the house where the godly live. The godly may trip 7 times, but they will get back up. But one disaster is enough to overthrow the wicked. Very popular passage, huh? The righteous stumble yet many times, yet get back up. That's right. They have things happen to them, but they get back up, right? They have the ambush in the home. They have the raid. They have the difficulties, the calamities, but they get back up. It's really a picture of, remember when we went through the book of Job, how Job he got back up, even though he had, so much calamity that took place. When you stumble, get back up. That's the best thing to do, is just get back up. Get back in the Word. Get back praying. Get back in fellowship. Don't go isolate yourself on some island. Don't go, just out there where, you don't want to talk to God anymore. No, get right back in it. Start growing, Ask God for forgiveness. He's right there. He's faithful and just and will forgive you, cleanse you of all unrighteousness. Don't rejoice when your enemy falls. Don't be happy when they stumble. Hey, that's a good word. Hey, when the enemy falls, don't be rejoicing. Man, have maybe a broken heart for that person instead. For the Lord will be displeased with you, and he will turn his anger away from them. Don't fret because of evildoers. Don't envy the wicked. For evil people have no future. The light of the wicked will be snuffed out. My children fear the Lord and the king. Don't associate with rebels, for disaster will hit them suddenly. Who knows what punishment may come from the Lord and the king? Hey, don't go hanging out with that rebellious group, right? That enemy group. That's a good word to King David, right? Who went and hung out with some of the enemy camp, right? It says, here are some further sayings of the wise. It is wrong to show favoritism when passing judgment. A judge who says to the wicked, you are innocent, will be cursed by many people and denounced by the nations. Right? Don't show favoritism when passing judgment. This is tough. A lot of us struggle with this. We don't think we do, but I think when I think of my life anyway, and I just try to have some honesty, I kind of look at, there's favoritism sometimes in your family. And sometimes there's favoritism in how you treat your family compared to other people. And so you see a lot of favoritism going on. Notice it talks about not having favoritism when passing judgment, right? You got to call it what it is. Sounds like consistently. Am I consistently calling it what it is? Or because now, it affects, my home, do I call it now a little different? I think of that too, and I go, oh, maybe that's true in my life. Gosh, and why? Maybe is there that favoritism? Is there some fear in me? Is there fear of rejection? Is there fear of conflict in my home? Usually fear, discontentment, things like that, insecurities, all are in there. In our heart, and it maybe moves us to favoritisms when it comes to judgments on issues and things. We see that maybe all the time. We just aren't recognizing it. And it says, verse 25, but it will go well for those who convict the guilty. Rich blessings will be showered on them. So doing the right thing, being just, right? In a court of law, justice being served. You get that idea as well from the proverb. An honest answer is like a kiss of friendship. Wow, being honest. That's something that we could work on every day. Just being honest. Do your planning and prepare your fields before building your house. Prepare. Am I preparing? Right? Do I prepare my fields? Do I have a good preparation for the future? Not that, some people are like really hyper prepared, but do I think about it? Do I have a preparation attitude? Don't testify against your neighbors without cause. Don't lie about them. And don't say, how can I pay them back for what they have done to me? I will get even with them. Hey, let God get back, to them, right? Don't have that attitude. I'm going to pay them back. I'm going to get them. Ooh, that's something us humans do really well, right? We love to get back. I walked in the fields of a lazy person, the vineyard of one with no common sense. I saw that it was overgrown with nettles. It was covered with weeds, and its walls were broken down. Then as I looked and thought about it, I learned this lesson. A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. Wow. I was walking through my neighborhood. I saw some houses, man, and their yards were just absolutely jacked. Man, maybe they're just sleeping too much. Kind of idea. Sometimes we just get lazy. Obviously, the fields that they're talking about is ones that produce food, right? We don't really have a lot of food production in our front yards or anything. But the idea kind of is that laziness, that can grab us. So it's a good proverb. The righteous stumble 7 times, yet gets back up. Talking about being honest is like a what would it say? Is like a kiss of friendship. Just being honest. Sometimes we can really heal people just by our own honesty. Sometimes that can be a healing. Helping maybe us not to judge with a wrong judgment. Favoritism. We judge them a certain way, but then when it comes to our own home or things like that, we kind of judge totally different. And we see a lot of favoritism. Maybe we got to cut back on that. So there's some wisdom there and things to think about throughout the day for sure. So you guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me on the Almost Lunch Devotion, okay? You guys take care. Bye-bye.